What's up, everyone? I am Jets Chaos. We are here for the Pride and Chaos show. It is Wednesday night. Let's get ready. Let the chaos begin. It is going to be the most chaotic chaos in the world. We'll be back right after this.
And now, welcome to Pride and Chaos.
Welcome to the darkest year of our adventures. Oh, yeah!
And now, give it up for Jeremy and Nick.
Nice candy.
And as usual, Nick is wrong.
Why are you the way that you are? God, I can't stand you.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Whoa, that was cool.
Okay, apparently a lot of you here an hour ago, that's on me. We should have been more public and made it louder and more prouder that the show is now shifted. I don't know if it's forever, but to the 9 o'clock p.m., 9 to 11 time slot. The reason that happened is because our friend Nick Shine had a change in his schedule. He's actually running a little bit late right now, so we'll see. But maybe we get to start off with one of my rants every day. We'll find out. Let me say hello to a few of you as we wait for people to figure out that the show has now begun. Jets, 8:30. Thank you. You are way too kind. I hope you made it back. I know that you were here a while ago when you put that comment in. Papa Yeti, what's going on? I have good news for you, Papa Yeti. I'm going to North Carolina. I leave in a week. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to review Mama Celeste Pizza just for you. Just for you. You requested it so many times. I can't let you down. I will request it. I promise. How you doing, Harlan? Hopefully you've made it back. I see Daniel Meehan in the chat. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate your support. We'll definitely talk a little bit about your Dolphins and what happened if we get a chance. If you want to chime in and let us know how you're feeling, we'll definitely want to hear what your take is on the situation with the Dolphins. Tony Alexio. Well, I love the Alexio. You love the chaos. We love each other. It's a match made in heaven. So thanks for coming by. Kuka Jets fan, you guys were having a huge conversation while waiting. Nobody talks about the fact that I wasn't there. These two are pulling a Keith Carter and hurting us all. Is that about us? It was in the thing should have said that the show starts at 9 o'clock, right? Oh, no, wait a second. By force of habit, I put it in as the wrong time, didn't I? Oh, okay. This is all my fault. I put it in as 8 o'clock still. Sorry about that, guys. Snowball, what's going on? Thank you. I try really hard on those videos. It's hard to do that voice, I have to play two characters. Yeah, that's right, Jeremy. It's hard to do both voices. It's hard to be the brain behind all of that stuff. But I appreciate you appreciating it, Joe. I thought you switched to 9 for Nick's toes. I kind of did. That's right. Nick has 9 toes, so now we're at 9. But I think I put it into the thing when I set it up wrong. So not only did I not announce it, but I literally scheduled this for 5 o'clock. So I'm sure a lot of people got frustrated and left. I was wondering why there were so many comments. I was like, what the hell's going on here? I see Matthias saying there's no Dakota. Well, where is Dakota? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know where he is. There's no Nick, so I probably shouldn't be eating. Because then who's going to do the talking? Maybe not the wisest thing in the world to do. Who's this? Oh, you see 9? All right. Then I did it right. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. All of you need to pay attention. No. What's going on? Wild Wave. Good to see you, man. Shane, very famous movie name. Shane, come back, Shane. Great news about Ulbrich getting named to the Senior Bowl head coach. That is really crazy because I'm going to the Senior Bowl. So that is freaking wild. That is such good news, dude. Holy cow. I got to hold on. Does Dom C know? We're going to the Senior Bowl week. I got a press credential. I'm going to be there interviewing players. Maybe I'll get over to Ulbrich. I'm going to wear my Jets hoodie. I'm getting over there, guys. That's great news. I didn't know that. That is such good news. Good to hear. Wow. This guy is saying I'm awful. Well, that's Nick, by the way, guys. And I do have the power to, pish, kick him off the show. Move on. So someone not as ugly that actually has 10 toes. Jason Zagas says hello. And I can't get Celeste's in Arizona either. See, so you're in the same boat I am. Can't wait. Celeste equals 23 season, a lot of hype. Well, I go to North Carolina. I'll be there. I actually leave in exactly a week. I don't even know about this show. Nick might have to do it himself. And then I land on Thursday morning because it's the red eye. And I will review Mama Celeste. I will. I'm going to go to the supermarket. I'm pretty sure it's the East Coast, so I'm assuming it's going to be easy to find. I'll reach out to my brother and have him take a look or let me know if it is. And I'm going to cook it. I'm not using the microwave. I'm going to follow whatever oven instructions there are. I want the best version of Mama Celeste's pizza for me to review. I know it was one of the all-time Westerns. That's why I quoted it. I'll never forget. I grew up on that. I grew up on that was crazy famous. That movie ended. It ended in controversy because people argue and say that Shane died, that he was shot and died on his horse while walking away. I don't know if that's true. Bro talking about cutting ties like we about to do with Zach. That's right. I'll just move on. I'll move on from Nick. You know what I mean? I don't care. Definitely Supreme, man. I'm thinking the same thing because now I'm remembering the box. It's all coming back to me. And I'm definitely remembering the Mama Celeste box and the Supreme. And no question, I'll get the Supreme. I'll bake it in an oven. And I'll give it the most honest review I can give it. You know what I mean? I'll be totally honest. I mean, because the truth is, if it came between Mama Celeste's pizza, somebody said, we'll give you a lifetime supply. We'll deliver every week to your house, 5 pies. You put it in your freezer the rest of your life. But if we do that, you can never talk to Nick again. He's out of your life. Or you could be friends with Nick forever, but never have Mama Celeste pizza. You know what I would say? I would say, hey, Nick, it looks like my diet's not going to work out, and you don't have to look at my fat ass anymore. So anyway, Hater Ali is here. What's going on? You know what? I'm going to start with a rant. Now that I said hello to everybody, welcome you all in. Here's my rant. Here's my pet peeve. I've shared this before. This is what I'm the most annoyed at, and it has to do with Jet fans. And it doesn't mean that I don't respect everybody's rights to their opinion and all that. But here's the thing that's really been bugging me, okay? There's this big thing going around about how it's fire JD. What a horrible situation he's put us in. And get rid of Salah. And, okay, first of all, let's start with JD, okay? JD put us in a situation where we were more excited as a fan base than we've ever been. Okay, the starting quarterback got hurt on the 4th play of the season, and our entire offensive line went down so many times. We started 14 different versions of an offensive line. So can we please pretend? Can we pretend that that's a real thing? And we didn't go 3-14. We went 7-10. So it wasn't we still have a championship level defense. We still have some great players on offense. We just lost our offensive line. And we didn't have a competent quarterback. Well, guess what? Next summer, we're going to be running out a real quarterback. And statistically, he doesn't have more of a chance of getting hurt. If you go by his career, every indication is that Aaron Rodgers will be fine and play the season. There's no reason to think he's going to get injured again or he's injury prone. Tom Brady had a year where he missed the whole year. He got hurt the first week. It happens. It happens in a quarterback's career. It was unfortunate for us, but it's gone now. So can we look at the reality of next season? We are going into an offseason with the proper restructuring and the proper money management. We can free up about $65 million. Now, look, we should not go crazy with that $65 million. We shouldn't. And if you watch my videos, you'll find out why. My friend Tony will kill you if you think that we should just crazily and randomly spend money. We shouldn't. But we do have some needs, and we do have to make room, and we have to use some of that money to fill those needs. We all know that. You can't just keep running out a football team that doesn't have an offensive line. We don't know what's going to be available in the draft, so I think we have to get a piece of that resolved, right? We have to have some of our offensive line resolved. Then we need a weapon. We need a weapon. Somebody to play opposite of Garrett Wilson. And it doesn't have to be a WR2, like in the sense that in the draft there's a guy named Bowers. It could be Bowers because he's more than just a tight end. The reality is we just need another person to create a problem for the defense. Another person that's not just a jag. Somebody that actually is unique and special and talented that creates matchup issues along with Garrett Wilson. Then in the backfield, you got Breece Hall, and he comes out of the backfield as a receiver. Our offensive coordinator just figured it out just a month ago. But guess what? Some of us already knew it. We also have some pretty good tight ends. And we have what should continue to be a championship-level defense. So all I'm saying is I'm not sitting there saying we're going undefeated. I'm not promising a Super Bowl. But can we be a little positive? Can we be a little positive? Can we be a little optimistic? Can we say that it looks like we're going to be walking out and rolling out this year a real quarterback, an offensive line that's destined to be improved, if not just by health, yet alone a draft and free agency? We know exactly what we need. We need another weapon, and we need offensive line help. We know exactly what we need, and we have some market space, we have some money, and we have draft picks. This is not an impossible mission. And guess what? You don't need to have 5 all-pro offensive linemen to have a good offensive line. You don't. You don't. You don't. If AVT could stay healthy, Tippin and AVT, those are our 2 solid core guys. You draft a guy, if we end up going that direction in the draft. We got, there's some top-notch guys that are ready to come in and make a difference. Or if you sign the guy from Dallas, right? If you go out and get a free agent that's a proven starter. And then there's plenty of interior offensive linemen in the draft that are plug-and-play starters that will be there in the 3rd round. So there's a path. There's a path to putting out there, not the best offensive line, but certainly much better than the last 2 years and certainly functional. Middle of the league offensive line. Think of what that would mean from what we've been dealing with for the past 2 years. And then combine that with a real quarterback. You know the difference that'll make? You know the difference it'll make for Breece Hall? Breece Hall had nearly 1,600 yards from the line of scrimmage with no offensive line and no quarterback. Think about that. The other team knew he was the only person, aside from Garrett Wilson, that could hurt them. And Garrett Wilson was handicapped by the fact that he didn't have a quarterback. So they were stacking, like 2 years in a row now. Every team, same formula against us, stacking the box. And he still had 1,600 yards from the line of scrimmage. Guess what you can't do when Aaron Rodgers is behind center? You want to stack the box? Oh, thank you. Please, stack the box. Yeah. Keep 8 guys in the box. Yeah, please. Do you know what Aaron Rodgers will do to a defense that tries to stack the box? He will dissect them. Okay? So then, Okay, so they can't do that, right? You got Aaron Rodgers. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't stack the box anymore. You have to cover the guys. You have to have the guy. You have to prepare for Aaron Rodgers. Well, guess what? When you're not stacking the box, Brees Hall's going to eat you alive. He's going to eat you for dinner. Like he's eating liver. I used to yell at my friend. I used to be, hey, liver lips, liver. Fry it up with onions and eat it up for dinner. That's what A-Rod's going to do. Why are we not thinking optimistically? Why are we not thinking this way? It doesn't make any sense. Like, I can understand, you could say I'm being too much of a homer, calm down, but the negativity that I'm hearing is out of control. You guys are acting like it's 2020. Like it's 2019 and we're going into the 2020 season. Come on. We're in a different place now. We can't be thinking like we can have concerns. Like it's normal to have concerns. It's normal to like identify what we need to target and fix. But please, don't tell me we should be burning jet jerseys and calling for people's heads and firings. Got these morons on Twitter screaming that we should be on the phone with every available head coach. No, we named Robert Saleh the coach. You could disagree with it. You could not disagree with it. You know what would make our organization look as embarrassing as ever? You know what would be the same old Jets? For us to announce that we're bringing back the same coaching staff, and then because certain guys become available, say we've changed our minds and we're firing our head coach and completely losing the trust of every real professional and decent NFL coach in the NFL. That's what would happen. We clearly announced that we're staying with the same coaching staff. We are not calling anyone. And the worst is you have the moronic, just insane stupidity of Tomlin from Pittsburgh. Why in the world would Tomlin come to the New York Jets? Why in the world would Pittsburgh let him go? Can everybody stop this ridiculous narrative or nonsense that Tomlin is going anywhere? He is the longest tenured coach right now in the NFL. He has had a winning record every single year of that tenure. 17 years of winning records. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been to multiple playoff games. Miller's going to replace him with. He has had no quarterback since Ben retired, and yet he continues to have a winning record. He's insane. He's not available. We're not getting him as our coach. So the nonsense has got to stop. We are bringing back Robert Saleh. It's been announced. That's what it is. You don't have to like it. But are we really going to be at a point where we're going to have our fan base be negative from now to the end of next season, hoping he loses and gets fired? Or are you going to suck it up and be a fan and just hope that you're wrong about him? And that with Aaron Rodgers and finally having a quarterback, this guy puts this team that he helped build and this culture he helped build and turn it into a winner. Why can't we make it that simple and just root for that? He's provided us a championship defense. Aaron Rodgers will now come in and provide us potentially a very respectable offense. One that could move the ball, one that could score points. When you combine that with a really good defense, suddenly you have a chance to win a lot of games. So why don't we get off the guy's back and be football fans and support him? It's not like the Adam Gase years where you have a guy who has nothing to offer as a coach. He does offer us something. This is as good a defense as we've had since Rex Ryan. This is a great defense. At least we have something special about our team that puts us in a position to say, if we score points, we're going to win a lot of games. So, you know what I mean, everybody? What are people saying here? Let's see. Ain't no wonder Rogers said start manifesting positivity. Yeah, because positivity is important. If everybody's negative, bad things happen. Negative things happen. If people are positive and believe, you can make great things happen. It's the story of many, many championship teams. Tired of talking. So I'm happy to say one of the ugliest, worthless human beings in the world is here to help. Let me give him a proper introduction, though. Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen him before. Sometimes he has a crazy beard, and sometimes it's nice and manicured. Sometimes he has a hat on his head, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes it's a beanie. Sometimes he's angry and scary. Sometimes he's goofy and pleasant. You never know which one you're going to get. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the pork roll eating, not Taylor ham. It's pork roll, eggs, cheese on a Kaiser roll. The one and only. He's proud. He's loud. He's the greatest Jet fan in the world. Nick Shine.
If there's one thing in this world that I hate, it's seeing Jeremy's face. What's up? What's up, everybody? How are you? Thank you for all the love in the chat. As I'm in the Uber on the way home, I was like, man, these guys are showing me a lot of love. And I was like, oh, are they being serious or not? So what's up, everyone? How's everyone doing today? Can I tell you what I'm excited about?
Please, my throat is dry.
I am so excited about Jeff Ulbrich being at the junior senior / retro bowl. There's so many grades, you can't even call it a senior bowl anymore. We are going to get such a good defensive lineman in round 1 now. We are going to get such a good defensive lineman in round 1. I am so bright. I am fucking Elmer's glue white. What is going on with this lighting today? Maybe it's because I have the black sweatshirt on. I look so, I don't know. Maybe it's trying to counter. I look Elmer's glue white, bro. What's up, everybody? How's everyone in the chat doing? Better? A little more balanced, I guess? I don't know. I'm trying to. Is this because the hat? I don't know. Weird. Bothering me. I'll try to figure it out. Sit back, I guess. I don't know. Snowball, my pal. What's up? Golden pipes. The man with the golden pipes. So what's going on? What are you doing? What are we discussing, sir?
I was just ranting about how I think we need to be more positive as a fan base.
God damn it. I hate when you talk about things that I agree with. I tweeted last week. I was like, maybe if we're more positive and Jets 8:30. What's up, pal? I'm not sick. I'm actually working. I'm doing a little site manager for Woodbridge Township, Woodbridge Recreation. Get to watch kids in the town play basketball and make sure the refs know the rules, the coaches don't act up, parents don't yell at nobody, and get paid to watch youth basketball 4 days a week. So, sorry, that's why we had to push the show back. Because there's games tonight. The last game starts at 8 o'clock and ends at 9. So by the time I get home, I gave Jeremy the option. I was like, if you want to do the first hour by yourself. And he was like, no, Nick, we can't have that. It's the Pride and Chaos show. The people want us together. They need us together. Who wants chaos without pride leveling it out? And I was like, you know what? You're right. Are you okay with moving it back? He's like, I'm not okay with it. It was my goddamn idea. I'm like, okay. So I apologize for the time switch. but we'll be 9 to 11 from for the foreseeable future. Basketball runs through mid-May in town, mid-March, mid to late March. So, and then
So
after
get the
that,
coffee brewing, Harry W. Get the coffee brewing because you're staying up late.
Harry. No, Hank is the one in Canada. Harry, we met Harry. Hank is the one in Canada. Hank's got the Tim Hortons. Oh, Jet 830, the best 1-2 punch on YouTube. Thank you.
Love it.
Jet Wildway, look at it, showing us some love. You can't say, yeah, who wants Jeremy and Nick is like peanut butter and jelly? Perhaps you prefer spaghetti and meatball? Lamb and tuna fish? We go together like lamb and tuna fish?
Maybe prefer.
Oh, Harry's
maybe
in Florida now?
Maybe we go together like ham and egg. You be the ham because I'm Jewish.
Yeah. You know what? Let me change. I don't know. Is it the black shirt? Like, I don't know. Like the light adjustment has me fluorescent tonight, man. I don't know what's going on here. I'm trying to change the lighting a bit, but man, I feel like I look like the inside of my thighs. I don't know why the light is adjusting like that today.
I don't know what's going on. How cool is it that Green Bean is being animate that we will resume the traditional Coney Island cyclone ride opening weekend, that we're going to do an event and we're all going to try to be there for opening home game in September, and that we're all going to do the Coney Island thing again. How exciting is that?
I don't want to fucking see you, piece of shit. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. This lighting is way off. Give me a minute. Boot me out of the show. Let me figure this out, and I'll pop back in. Give me a minute, guys.
So the question that brings up is, Harry, if this happens, will you be coming up again and joining the festivities for the opening Jet game next season? Will you be there? Will Jets 830 be there? Will Snowball be there? Will somebody help guide me to J9? J9. Because we're going to park there again. That's our parking area. And I do not want to have another incident where the game ends and I cannot find my way to J9. So,
why don't you just... Yeah, for some reason the color scheme was altering the camera. There we go.
That's weird.
Fuck it. Fuck it. So, yeah, that's cool. It's always good to see you guys. I don't do the roller coaster, but I'll eat. I'll go out to the street and film it for you guys again.
Yeah, I don't know. The plan might not be to eat at LMB. I think the plan is to go to like a Grimaldi's or something.
What the hell's that? Is that just another pizza place?
Yeah, like a coal oven pizza place or famous
food.
place.
Who cares? I'm not the foodie that you guys are.
You prefer to go to a place that has a meatball hero and French fries.
Fucking Italian food. That's your Italian food in Brooklyn.
Plenty of choices.
We go to Desi's. We go sit down at Desi's, have a nice sit down dinner or sit down lunch. Desi's? You ever have Desi's? 86th Street?
I may have went like 25 years ago and I don't remember.
I thought you fucking had like a push pin map of New York City with different color for ratings of every place you've eaten in the city.
You know what it is, Harry? It's a Jewish thing. Jews cannot navigate parking lots. It's like we read we read it like the Torah. 10J, J10. I don't understand the J and the K and which comes first with the L and the E and the W. Like it's just Jewish thing. Like can you imagine if we brought 100 strict of those, of Hasidic Jews with the hats and everything to a Jet game afterwards? They'd be roaming around the parking lot like cockroaches.
Is that why you sound like extra retarded when you try to do the Jet chant? The J confuses you?
No, because I'm always like J-E, and I always start to say W. W.
Yeah.
And then people saying T. I'm like,
Jeremy's gonna be like this from now on. J9, where are you? You.
yeah, GVH is right. Nathan's is right down the street. There ain't nothing wrong
It
with
is definitely.
grabbing some hot dogs and a cup of fries.
We know how much you love to put a nice big hot dog in your mouth and enjoy it.
You know how much I love to stick you in the hand with that red fork they give you.
That thing is very, very well designed. It's a good weapon. Yes, that's cool that you guys will be out here. I'll tell you right now, my prediction.
Wow.
My prediction is the Jet opening game is Thursday night in San Francisco after San Francisco wins the Super Bowl. And they put the Jets as that game on Thursday night. That would be a huge game to hype up, right? Rodgers return. That's my prediction. That is, if the 49ers win the Super Bowl, your opening Thursday night game will be Jets at the Niners. You get the East Coast, West Coast. Everyone will be looking forward to that game. And hopefully here's to Rodgers completing a game as a Jet.
That would be wild, man.
You heard it here first. Breaking news from Nick Shine.
Having to play the 49ers week 1.
Desi's Clam Bar, it's called in Brooklyn. Desi's Clam Bar.
My favorite clam bar is Lenny's Clam Bar.
It's on Grand Street in Brooklyn. It's on the corner of Grand and Manhattan Ave. I've been there a couple times. It's pretty good.
I love fried clams.
Nice. So, what? Yeah, Ulbrich will be doing the head coach, which is good for him, right? It's another opportunity. It's a better opportunity for the Jets to get up close and personal with the players in the draft. Get a good look at the offensive linemen. Get a good look at the D line. Let's be real. We lose Huff. As much as you guys don't like it, defensive line is in play early. So it's going to be.
I don't think first rounds. I don't think first rounds.
I don't think you can rule it out at this point, to be honest with you. I don't think you can. If you trade back a couple spots, if the receivers are gone that you don't like and the two linemen go, you trade back, get a second rounder and something else. I don't think you can rule it out today. We don't know how free agency is going to work out. We don't know how trades are going to work out. You get Devontae or you sign a Higgins or a Ridley. You're not going to go draft a receiver in round 1. You bring in 2 tackles. We don't need all-pro first-round guys at every position. We just need guys that can remain healthy.
Right.
I'll keep saying it.
At this
We've
point,
been 5-2 and 4-3 the past 2 years with the worst QBR play in the NFL, and we're winning games. But when you get past injury number 3 on the offensive line, that's when it went completely downhill. I'll roll the dice that we just get starting caliber guys. Jets Twitter will go fucking ballistic because they think it's Madden, and we can get all-pro players at every position, and there's no salary cap, and you can just trade for whoever you want. Like the Mike Evans talk. Number one, I don't think Mike Evans becomes a free agent. Why would Mike Evans uproot his family that their entire life have been in Florida? And if you are leaving Florida, why the fuck would you choose New Jersey with the New Jersey taxes? Right? You're not leaving Florida after being in the NFL for however many years, 10, 11 years, and not paying state income taxes and going to New Jersey, one of the highest rated tax hellholes. There's more than football involved for these guys. Tyreek Hill said it.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets had an agreement to get Tyreek Hill. What cost us? We're not a political show, but if you live in New Jersey, you know it is awful to live here. Tyreek Hill chose the Miami Dolphins over the Jets because of the state income tax difference. So that factors in. So I don't know. I can't. I don't. I take the Jets out of it. I don't think Mike Evans leaves Tampa for anywhere. especially now. You got a quarterback in Baker Mayfield that you should extend if you're Tampa Bay. I know he's going to be a hot commodity that he's got. I think he stays there. Extend them. You know, they go win this game and they go to the NFC Championship. Why is anyone leaving? So, I don't know. I just think the Mike Evans talk is wasted breath of coming to the Jets.
You know what's weird? Right now, like this year, who's the better quarterback to have on your team, even healthy? Forget about injuries. Baker Mayfield or Deshaun Watson?
Baker. It's amazing that you got to rewind and remember what Baker did. He had that playoff game in Kansas City where he had the bootleg run and he dove for the pylon and hit it, and they had the lead. I think they lost 26-20 or something like that to Kansas City. And then he played the next year with like 4 or 5 different injuries, and they got rid of him. Like the guy played like he was in the wheelchair and like the body cast in the pregame, and then they like carved him open, and he went out and played, and they just like, no, we're getting rid of you.
That was what they did to him after the way he did that. He played injured, and then they freaking shipped him off.
I'm rooting for him. I don't know if you saw my post on that face, but I'm rooting for him. Like I root for people who have been used, abused, mistreated, bounced around, was the punchline for many jokes, and find a home and find success. It's a similar path to my life. So I'm just waiting for the success part. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Baker the man. You know, like I don't hate Tampa Bay. Brady's gone, so what do I give a shit? I just didn't like them when Brady was there. But it's one of those teams that you have like neutral for, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'll give you a name right now. You want to talk about a name that no one's talking about getting to the Jets?
Yeah.
How about you go get Christian Wilkins? How about you go get Christian Wilkins and you put him next to Quinnen Williams and you create the greatest interior D-line in football history?
How much money would he require?
Probably the same as Quinnen, if not a little more. But you want to go win a Super Bowl? You have Wilkins, Quinnen, JJ, McDonald. You bring back Jefferson and Solomon Thomas on cheap deals. You know, Solomon Thomas had a much better season 2 here than he did his first season. You know, you have JFM now that you could play more outside. There's times where Christian Wilkins lines up as the end. Yeah, Wild Wave. I'm with you with Chris Jones too, but you go get one of those guys. You want to show that you're all in. You let Huff go. You restructure or you move on from JFM, and you bring in Wilkins or Jones. I don't think Woods comes back. I think Woods retires at his age, his size, the Achilles injury. I don't see anyone. It's very difficult for a large man like that to come back from an Achilles injury, even with the new way they do the surgery. It was interesting to hear AVT said that they didn't do the same surgery for him that they did for Rodgers because of the fact that it snapped in a different place. One was higher and one was lower. So they didn't do the bridge with that, but he's walking around. He's moving well. He should be fine for the opener.
The only thing the scary thing about AVT is that he wouldn't confirm that he's going to be ready for the game 1. Like he said, I have to talk to the doctors or whatever. And I know that could just be what he's told to say, you know, because he doesn't want to do early speculation, but it is a little scary. Like you'd much rather, when you ask a player, will you be ready for week 1? Oh, yeah, I'll be plenty of time, you know?
Yeah, but I just think them making a huge splash. Don't forget, this is an all-in team. Jobs are on the line. Free agency might be approached a little differently now. You know, you see these quarterbacks getting $250 million deals, and their first year is $8 million on the cap because there's so much cash given up front.
Yeah.
Why do you think Woody was asking for the season ticket prices early? They're going to give out a shit ton of money this year, I believe, in free agency. I think that they are going to shock Jets fans with going out and getting a premium player or two. You go out and you get T. Higgins and Christian Wilkins. Okay. Now you're telling Jets fans we're going all in. Fuck this.
I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong that it would be insane to have that defensive line. It doesn't sound like a JG thing to do to go for a defensive tackle that's high priced.
I know. But he also lines up at end a lot too. He lines up at the end. Like he's not just it's not like we're getting Chris Jenkins. You know, we're not getting a run stuffing D tackle. We're getting imagine that pressure coming with McDonald, Wilkins, Quinnen, and JJ.
Well, there's no question it would be incredible. I mean, there's no argument. Nobody could argue that it wouldn't be insane and like really ridiculous.
Yeah.
Go.
Listen, I'm a firm believer. We have a top 5 defense. Don't settle. If you can make the defense better, do it. We know the offense is going to get better. We know just with Rodgers' presence, the offense is going to get better.
You'd hope.
It can't get worse. You telling me that Rodgers is going to lead the 32nd ranked QBR team in the league? I don't think.
Of course not. Of course not. It's only going to get better with Rodgers a quarterback. I feel like though, if we want to keep him standing up, we definitely have to find some way to improve that offensive line. We
just need the line to be healthy though. That's the part that I think everyone, not you, I'm not coming at you with that.
Yeah,
but everybody's like, okay, just find guys who are starting caliber players who are durable. You don't need all pros everywhere on the line. Look at the Packers. Connie Carberg, who I'm trying to get for the show. Connie Carberg tweeted the other day, there's not one player on the Packers line who's around one guy. Not one. And they just beat the piss out of the Cowboys in the trenches. And Aaron Jones running the ball. You need guys that fit your system and guys who can be healthy. Yeah. Jeff Van Four brings up a good idea or a good comment. We can draft Chris Jenkins' son this year. Yeah, I totally forgot about him. That wasn't any pun, but good catch there, pal. Bakhtiari's been injured. Becton's always injured. Becton played poor this year. I'm not taking a chance of putting him back there to let Rodgers get killed. I can't invest in him as a starter. There's no way.
No way.
Bakhtiari, all right, the knee's better. But you haven't played a full season in 5 years.
Well,
get me guys who are healthy. Get me guys that show up week in and week out.
Yeah. I'd like to welcome Chris Bradigan to the chat. Everybody say hello to Chris Bradigan and throw him some love.
I'm sorry. That is not acceptable. What's his name?
Chris Bradigan.
Thank you. Jesus Christ. You're acting like you don't have your own shtick. Why do I have to remind you of this? You're supposed to be the brains of the operation. I'm obviously the looks. Pull up your goddamn end, will you?
Sorry about that.
Thank you. Thank you. People expect better of you. All right. Carolina, 32-21. I put in a nice little parlay on Carolina. So, yeah, I think the Jets are going to make some moves that surprise people. I really do. And I think it's going to be – I think they go a big name or two. Like, if it doesn't work, Douglas ain't going to be here to worry about it. You know what I mean? Sometimes he's got to know his job's on the line. You do things a little bit out of character. Why is he going to worry about 25, 26, 27 if he ain't going to survive 24? You go all in, and then you figure it out later if it works out. You win a Super Bowl, who gives a shit? I don't care if we're $150 million over the fucking cap and we have to put a USFL team out there. We win a Super Bowl, I can go 10 years without winning a goddamn game. I don't care. Cut everybody. Who gives a shit? Go win a Super Bowl. I won't be here for 10 years. My heart will give out after we win the AFC Championship, so I don't even have to worry about 10 years from now. I had an idea, too.
Yeah.
You and I get season tickets And then if we make the playoffs, we have tickets for the playoffs. We'll split them or whatever. We'll sell some games. I can't make every game. You come out here, you have a ticket. You know what I mean? We make the playoffs, and then you want to come out for a home game. We have a face value playoff ticket. You don't have to worry about paying $500 for a playoff ticket.
I don't know if it makes sense for me, because if we got season tickets, how many games would I be able to go to? Now, if I move back to the East Coast, now we're talking.
Well, this was to entice that. You couldn't pick up on that. This is my put another chip in the come to the East Coast pile.
Right.
This is me trying to do an all-in move here. You can go to the wifey and say, well, we have tickets. It's worth it.
I just hope by the time we move back to the East Coast that the Jets aren't back in this, that this is all over and they're back to being the Jets. Like, that would suck. I move back and no quarterback again. The whole thing is over. All the guys leave. All these good players. We're just back to being the Adam Gase Jets.
I'll be honest too. I think that the offensive line is rectified before the draft, and I think that's going to upset some people. I think that they find veterans to put in and not roll the dice. I think that's something that's going to upset fans this year. That we're going to get guys who are starting caliber players, may have bounced around a little bit in the league, but have health and experience, and that's what you need. You got to find, and then if you can get the line rectified with mid-level free agents, you bring in two guys. Now you're not tied to having a draft fund. Now you're not tied to panicking if Alter Fashanu go. Now you're not tied to anything. You can go into the draft with positional flexibility, which they love to do.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting, man. It's every move will be over magnified. Every move will be dissected, and it's 40% of Jets Twitter will say it's the right thing. 40% will say it's the worst move ever. 20% will say we're going to suck anyway. It doesn't matter what we do.
Yeah, certainly no way to please every fan. No matter what you do, somebody's pissed every time.
Snowball, I wouldn't be looking to get it till last minute. I'm not paying them money now. But it would be something come the summertime. Okay, I gotta wait for my knee settlement to come in, so probably 6 months from now.
One of the good things about having
discuss it more.
One of the good things about having and sharing season tickets is if I'm at the game, I'm with you. I won't get lost, and I'll be able to find J9.
Yeah, well, I'll just wander off to cause the chaos. I will create the chaos. I'll move the car. And then say, oh, we're right here. Where are you? Oh, we're at J19. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you know what'll happen? It'll be so funny because I'll be walking around all frustrated and lost, and I'll look up, I'll hear chaos, and it'll be Snowball. Can you imagine what he must have been thinking when he looked up and they said, "Who is that lunatic, running across traffic?" And he looks up when he realized that it was me and said, "That's chaos."
I wish to God it was that game was played in Russia where everyone has to have a dash cam. And we had a dash cam recording of it. That would be
all
the best.
together to make one movie out of it.
That would be the best.
You didn't get the family movie that I made? That my family made in 1981?
You didn't
that is now officially on YouTube?
You didn't send it.
Okay.
You sent me a header. But I said to you, we should have a watch party for it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We're gonna have a watch
I was
party.
don't send it. I want to watch it live and tell everybody. See if there's interest. Tell everybody about it.
Give everybody the backstory. In 1981, somebody gave my father a video camera. Back then, nobody had them. And somebody gave, it was the kind that you're carrying the VCR on your shoulder. It's like a giant camera. And he had the idea of creating, with my family, my two brothers and my mother, a movie. So he came up with a movie idea. And we didn't have a script. We had to improvise. I was 10 years old. They'd say, walk around and look confused and lost. And I said, well, that's easy. Just tell me I'm looking for, J9. But then we would talk, and like we were all shy. I was shy. I didn't want to talk. Anyway, the movie is about like the end of the world, and we're like the survivors, and we film it upstate New York in the Poconos. Where like so we're filming all this like dead trees where there was a fire to make it look like it's the world ended. And there's a scene where I told Nick, did I tell you I did my own stunts?
That's the best line. That's what I was waiting for.
I did my own stunts. So the stunt was I had to fall off a cliff. Like I had to walk on the edge of a cliff and slip and hold on. So I think the funniest part is watching me do that to try to make it look real and not totally phony.
I do my own stunts.
I do my own stunts. Snowball, I do my own stunts. My son said, "I think that guy's drunk. Watch out for him." And it was me.
We have anyone else joining?
So is it right now? Oh, soon.
Good night
Yeah.
at all.
Oh, but we have to do the draft first. Oh,
That's exactly what I was saying. You guys up for a little mock draft? We'll do a mock.
Do you want to run it from your computer?
I wasn't as good as running. I don't have a mouse, so it's really fucking annoying for me to do it. Like
Okay.
I'll get one. I'll take from some of my BJ winnings. That's blackjack for all you perverts before you guys start typing.
No, I think that it's limited what I can do. Remember, I had the problem on this. Maybe I could open up in another browser or something. Still be able to.
There is a tab you can share from your tab, or you can share from another browser. When you go to share the screen, that does pop up.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's go D-line. Send this freaking mock into chaos immediately. Give me Dallas Turner, edge, Alabama.
Okay, let me see if I can.
This coffee is fucking phenomenal. Why do some coffees hit different than others? It's the same K cup. It's the same creamer. It's just some of the coffees you hit different. I think I'm just excited to be on the show with you and chat with everybody.
Okay.
My body's pumping. Let's see.
I gotta.
It's too dark.
No.
Nothing changes with my lighting. Like, why? What's going on with this?
Try capturing a different screen to see if this continues. Shit, it's saying that it won't find it. That sucks. 1 second. Present. I was worried about this. I'm gonna have to wait for it. Okay.
I know what you're doing.
Oh, can you see it?
That's what she said.
Just help me out. Can you see it?
No, you didn't share it.
Get out of here. It's not sharing right now? What do you see?
Shared. I see me and you. When you go to share, it pops up as another person on the bottom. Nothing popped up.
No, that's only when. 1 sec. That doesn't make any sense. It acted like it was going to work. Okay, hold on.
Do you want me to do it?
Shit.
You worthless
It
human
won't
being.
It won't let me share a different browser. Let me try one more time.
Wait, what the hell's going on here? Why did this start? All right, I got it up. That's what she said. Oh, that's what he said. All right, we're doing 7 rounds. We're going fast. I'm ready.
Okay.
You want me to share it?
Yeah.
Let me make sure all my porn tabs are closed.
Snowball saying this is chaos.
Bloop, bloop.
His son pointed me out as a drunk guy. It's crazy. Okay.
Do you see it?
I see it.
All right. Stop seeing this ad. Here we go. Drake May, Fashano,
Yes,
Kalo,
Fashano's
Dallas
coming.
Turner, Harrison, Neighbors, Odunze.
Is Joe Alt still on the board?
All right. Click here to close.
Rome
Alt is still on the board.
Is Joe Alt
We have
still
a
on the
pick. We have a trade offer from the Raiders. Joe Alt is still on the board. Unless he went number 1. I can't see. I'm in. Yeah, Joe Alt's there. Bowers is there. Latu. Latham. So we have one offer from the Raiders. Number 13, moving back 3 spots, which also gives us a second rounder, number 44 overall. So we need to weigh, is Joe Alt? Do we pass on Joe Alt? What are we thinking, everybody?
Make that trade. He's gone.
You got to read the comments. I'm going to stay in.
Oh.
Reject it? What's the feedback? I'm not going to go back and forth.
Let me look. Oh, shut up. I got to open it up because I can't see this. So I'm going to open it up on my phone. Shut up.
Oh, you want to put a poll up? You want to put a poll up in YouTube?
Oh, we could do
We're
that.
Getting super fancy here. All right, I'm looking at the chat now. Wild Wave says accept the trade. Bradigan says alt. Harlan says take the trade. Johnny says take the trade. Jet Fan 4 says alt. Snowball says trade. Afram says go for it. Does that mean take the trade, Afram? Johnny, stop putting it multiple times. I'm trying to count. I already got your first take the trade.
Take the trade, alt.
Johnny spamming the goddamn chat here like a lunatic.
Some guy wants to know what it is. It's 10 for 13. 10 for 13 and 44.
We move back 3 spots and we get number 44 overall.
Snowball
Shane says take the trade. Afram now says take the trade.
Snowball says, did you say you wanted to put a poll up? And he spelled poll P-O-L-E.
Nice. That's what she said. Let's put a poll up.
Afram says take the trade. Shane McCrary says take the trade. Some guy says
I'd take it.
That must be
but
the trade.
Some guy says that's what she said. Some guy said I'd take it, but that's what she said.
Some fucking guy.
I think that I'm shocked. I'll be honest with you. I'm shocked with alt there. You know what this is? This is Jets fans knowing how many needs we have. And even a player the caliber of alt is like, no, we have more needs.
But it's also
that's what it tells me. So
it's also we didn't experience free agency yet. Like we all as a fan base might be thinking completely differently by the time we get to the draft.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what we're going to do in free agency. But for right now, at this moment, we have nothing but needs. We have so many needs that it feels like, a second round pick is huge right now. Being able to get a second round pick is a big deal.
So here's what we got to weigh, right? Let's weigh it out. I hear Dom's voice in my head saying you're ballistic, take alt. If we trade here and we go back, what's our targets? Alt will be say alt is gone. Who are we looking at if alt is gone? There's Latham.
There's
Bowers. I don't think you can write off Bowers.
Well, if he's still up there at 13, that's a lot of value.
What are we doing? I think it's overwhelming that we take the trade from the chat.
No, we have to take the trade. But if we take this trade, remember we might get offered another trade because we're still at 13. So we might be able to go down to 18.
I mean, we're going to get offered. But I can't. We're getting paid more than the pick is worth, too. We're getting paid about 150 more than the pick is worth. So,
yeah.
All right, we doing it? Am I taking it?
Let's do it. The Raiders want somebody.
Final answer?
Final. Do it. Piece of shit.
All right. McKinstry goes. Latu goes. Coleman goes. We could still get all to 13.
Wait a second.
We're fucking geniuses.
Raiders just traded their second round pick so they could secure Kool-Aid and McKinstry.
I'm going to bring in our next guest who is going to yell at us at first and then probably do a fucking cartwheel when he sees what we just pulled off because we are the greatest drafters of all time. We're going to bring in our friend the handsomest son of a bitch in the world. In the world!
He's a sexy
To
one.
Dom C. He's got the looks and charisma. What's
He's
up,
got
Al?
the look.
What's up, guys? I want to make sure that you can hear me okay.
So Dom
Yeah,
C,
you're
we
good.
just
Crystal
we can
clear.
hear you.
Sound nice.
We just did a very controversial thing, Dom C. We at number 10 had the opportunity to take Joe Alt. But we were offered a trade from the Raiders to trade down to 13, and they would give us their second round pick 44. The chat overwhelmingly said trade, trade, trade. We did the trade. We went down to 13, and Joe Alt is still on the board.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So so we have a 44 pick now. We added a second round pick, and Joe Alt is still on the board, and now we're being offered even more.
So the first offer is from Pittsburgh. I can't give Pittsburgh another lineman. They're offering number 20 and number 51 to go back 7 spots. And then Kansas City wants 13 and 107 to give 28, 60, 91, and a 2025 second rounder.
It's fucking
Wait,
expensive.
hang on 1 second. Rewind, boys. What is
What do you got?
Alt? What is Alt still doing on the board at 13?
Jesus loves us.
PFN, baby.
PFN algorithm, Dom. He's fallen. They his uncle released a video with him in a gas mask, just like Tunsil. Who are we to argue?
It's I think
I think we have to take all.
yes. I think you have to take Alt also.
Agreed. We're unanimous, right? A chat agrees. You have to take alt here. We got the second rounder. Having another second rounder and falling back 7 is not worth losing alt. We rolled the dice once. So I'm going to reject Kansas City. I'm going to reject Pittsburgh. We're in agreement here, guys?
Yep. It's got to be
Right?
Joe Alt. That's our left tackle
Joe
for the next
Alt.
12 years.
Joe Alt is a New York Jet.
He can get to the second level. He can go into motion and movement in space. He can block off his guy right in front of him. He can pass protect. He's the full package. Did I say that right, Dom?
There's not a lot that I find wrong with Joe Alt, to be completely honest.
He's the guy.
Okay.
Man.
So here we are at 44. I say no to this already. Seattle wants to give us number 76 and a second rounder the following year. That's the only offer that we have.
Not the right year for us to do that.
Agree. So now we take a look at who's there. I'm going to reject this. Dom, you agree?
Yeah.
Reject that son of a
If
bitch.
you rolled the dice to get a second round pick, you better use that second round pick.
Yeah. So some of the names that pop out to me are All-American Cooper Beebe from Kansas State, lineman, Cedric Van Pran, interior lineman from Georgia, Troy Franklin, receiver from Oregon, Graham Barton, who is projected here as a guard in the NFL. Dom, do you agree with that?
He'll be interior,
Duke?
whether it's guard or center, but I think he'll definitely be an interior lineman.
Leonard Taylor, defensive tackle, is the highest rated guy. Byron Murphy, the second from Texas, is still there. Another All-American offensive lineman, Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon, is there. Shadavion Sanders, the tight end from Texas, is there. What are we thinking? Or who are the names that pop out to you, Don?
Beginning to look a lot Christmas.
I mean, listen, I think if Byron Murphy is my 13th overall rated prospect in this class, very, very close to my number 1 defensive player in total. I don't think he'll be here. Probably going to be a late first round pick, mid to late first round pick. So that's the way I would go. I know the chat's going to probably want a wide receiver, but I think this wide receiver class is pretty deep. But I wouldn't argue if there was a wide receiver on the board that everyone liked.
Jeremy, can you put up a poll in YouTube, and then like Green Bean does, and we'll put up a couple options. So Dom, you're big on Murphy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's a stud, dude. He's an absolute stud. I mean, the downside of Byron Murphy.
Oh, I know he is.
The downside of Murphy, if there's any, is that he's primarily a 3-tech, kind of like Quinnen. So one of those guys, if playing together, are going to be out of position.
Okay.
But talent-wise,
what else are you thinking? So you have Murphy. Oh, this PFN is wild. They got Tavondre Sweat from the D-line on Texas ahead of Murphy.
Yeah. A lot of people like Sweat, also possible first-round pick.
Yeah. Any relation to Keith? Nice.
Thank you,
I
Hater
can't
Ali.
see you, but I appreciate the courtesy chuckle. That made my day.
I'm trying to figure out why I'm having trouble creating a poll for this. So hold on one sec.
All right. Well,
Click
let's
on the
just
wide
ask the chat.
receivers, Nick. Click on the wide receivers. I'm curious.
Franklin, Polk, Corley, McMillan, Walker, Johnny Wilson, Roman Wilson, Jamari Thrash.
I mean, Troy Franklin's a great player too.
Yeah, I think he'd be a great compliment to Garrett.
Well, yeah. So I question how his game will transfer. Listen.
Yeah.
His floor is going to be like he is Jalen Hyatt. His floor is Jalen Hyatt, where he's your vertical speed guy. I think he's got a little bit more than that. On top of that, this was the first year that he didn't have over a 11% drop rate in college. So, catching the ball has been an issue. He cleaned it up this year, in fairness. And like I said, I like the prospect. I happen to be a really big Jalen Polk fan, but if you're asking me, I'd still lean Byron Murphy and then roll the dice that a wide receiver is going to be there for me in the third round, which there will be.
Okay. Jack?
Yeah. Look, I love Troy Franklin.
You got anyone?
Huh?
Didn't say anything.
No, I'm saying I love Troy Franklin.
The interior offensive linemen here are great too. However, in reality, I just don't see the Jets. I don't see the Jets using two very high picks on offensive linemen. I'm not saying that they won't draft more offensive linemen later, but I don't see them using a first and a second round pick on offensive linemen.
See, the hardest thing about this is that we don't know what happened in free agency in this scenario, right? Like the reality is the day the actual draft comes, things might look very different. For all we know, Devontae Adams is on the team. For all we know, we picked up a guy like T. Higgins. For all we know, we don't know. So if we already have a wide receiver, I'm not even blinking. I'm not thinking about Troy Franklin. If we already picked that up and we are confident we can get a really good guy, an interior lineman in round 3, we might say, let's get Quinnen some help. Let's get a run-stopping stud, a guy who's going to help stop the run, create chaos in the middle of the defensive line, and they're going to take a guy like Byron Murphy. Because that you can get the interior guard. You already got your wide receiver in free agency. In the third round, there's plenty of guys who we can get that especially some of the centers, that if you wanted to, you could move Tippmann out and play that center, plug and play. And we're going to re-sign Connor McGovern, so there's that option as well, like if we want to. So there's lots of reasons why we don't have to jump to take an interior offensive lineman here. And if you have a quality guy that's best on the board And if JD loves Byron as much as Dom C does, I think that's the pick here. Now, if we didn't sign another wide receiver, then then I feel a little differently, maybe, because now I'm thinking, how much do we like the wide receiver that Franklin? Like, is Franklin a guy who could step in and make a difference for us and be an impact wide receiver?
Without knowing what happens for free agency, which we don't, obviously, and without setting clear parameters beforehand, I'm of the belief that you take the best player at a position of need. In this sense, I think Byron Murphy is the top dog.
And it is a position of need.
It is.
I mean, he's definitely a JD guy.
Muted. Damn it, I was muted. It says here, Murphy's floor as a run defender with his strength, mass, leverage, angle awareness, and movement freedom is also already incredibly high. And he has a ceiling to be a devastating pass rushing threat if he can channel his energy and power capacity more efficiently. As a prospect, Murphy bears some similarity to Atlanta Falcons Pro Bowler and second-team All-Pro defensive lineman Grady Jarrett. I would love this pick. You guys know how much I love defense. And like I said earlier in the show, don't get satisfied. This coach and GM are constantly going to build in the trenches. When you're strong in the trenches, everyone else's job is easier. You're making CJ and Quincy's job easier. You're adding another monster. You're adding someone who takes pressure off of Quinnen. You know, we saw that was a need this year.
I mean, there's other options. I mean, if you want to take the best available wide receiver here, you should be able to get a defensive tackle in the 3rd or 4th round as well. You know, so
yeah, but if you got him at 13, I think this is a no-brainer. If you have him that high, the Jets are going to have.
I'll tell you right now. Hang on one second. I'll confirm. He is my 12th overall player.
Wow.
And I said he's my second. He's my 3rd overall defensive player.
Okay.
Now, in fairness, some of the other. I mean, listen, Troy Franklin, who we talked about, and this is just me. This is just my rate.
This is your Cansey or your Chansey from last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he's so good.
You guys know I love.
You see that one move he made the other night?
It's ridiculous, dude. So good. But
he punched with his hands, and the guard disappeared, and he was past him in the backfield, lightning quick.
Troy Franklin is my 33rd overall player. And again, these rankings aren't finalized. They're going to change as stuff happens. But as of right now, like T'Vondre Sweat you talked about, he's at 24. Jackson Powers Johnson. These are names that you read off, Nick, that are available right here. Jackson Powers Johnson's at 25. Graham Barton's at 21. For me,
let's go
Byron
back
Murphy's at 12.
Let's take Murphy, and maybe one of these guys will fall. Everyone agree?
Yeah.
Byron Murphy, the second. You are a Jet.
That's gonna assure our defense stays a top 5 defense, I think.
Powers Johnson just went. All right, we have a trade offer.
Ooh, Zach Frazier's still there, Dom C. Zach Frazier is still there. And if you like wide receivers,
The names on the board: Zach Frazier, Edrin Cooper, Jalen Polk, Malachi Corley, Bucky Irving. I would love a Zach Frazier right here.
God, that would really solidify our offensive line.
Oh yeah, I mean Zach Frazier.
Devontae Walker, Jalen McMillan.
Wait. Hang on one second. You Tez Walker from North Carolina, wide receiver?
Yeah, they have him at 82 overall.
I mean, I have Polk rated a little bit higher than him, but man, when you talk about compliment to Garrett Wilson, I mean, I think Tez Walker is exactly that. He's coming off of it. You know, he's coming off a season where he didn't play the whole season. long story short, he transferred around a bunch, and
Okay.
he didn't get clearance that he was eligible until halfway into the season. So the stats that you see for him, which are, and I can read them to you. I think I got them here somewhere. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. He's a big vertical guy in limited snaps, 700 yards, 7 TDs this year. A drop rate of 6%, a contested catch rate of over 60%. He
was once clocked at over 23 miles an hour in a game.
He's a big vertical threat. I'm not comparing the games. This isn't a pro comp, but think like Mike Williams. Think what Mike Williams' role is in that San Diego offense. Big guy, not your true X build, but definitely a true vertical threat. I like Polk too. I know the chat's talking about Polk. Polk is my 6th rated receiver. And he's another one who's a good yin and yang for Garrett Wilson. I think they're both versatile Z types, and then you have Allen Lazard as your true X, prototype. Neither, and that might even push Garrett Wilson more into the slot, in 3 wide receiver sets.
Is Polk the one that some people have compared to like a Deebo Samuel type, or is that another guy?
No, that's the other
from
one.
Washington.
Malachi Corley.
That's Malachi Corley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would lean one of those two here, honestly. Polk's.
Right.
Polk's
What's the
Polk
chat
is
say?
jacked.
Throw it up to the chat. We'll leave Walker or Polk.
And for the record, not that it matters with this simulator, but neither of these guys will be here on the board at this frame.
Yeah.
They'll be long gone.
Are you trying to tell me Alt's not falling to us at 13 if we move back? Come on. It's completely realistic. Don't you dare poo-poo on the football gods and the pride and chaos.
I don't think Alt is falling past 6.
I agree. I see a bunch of Polks in the chat. Poppy Eddie says, go Frazier. There's your line.
If you go Frazier, he's not wrong, because if you go Frazier, you bump Tippmann to right guard and AVT to right tackle, and there's your offensive line.
You're literally done. Yeah,
but I think the opportunity of getting a right guard and keeping Tippmann at center, if that's the way you want to go, I think the opportunity of getting another interior lineman later in round 4.
We got 35 picks until we got 35 picks, and then 2 after that. So
you'll have
I would take the receiver here and go interior line later. Just the value of the receiver here is better than the value of the value of the receiver will be a lot lower than the value of the interior offensive lineman in round 4.
Okay,
that makes sense.
So I'll go Polk because I think that was the most amount of.
Yeah,
I saw him more than Walker in the chat. You guys agree?
Polk's great, man.
This would be a fucking fantastic draft. You talk about 3 quality players. That's 3 guys who are going to make an impact this year. If this was real.
All right. So here's the top names on the board.
I would go right to interior offensive line and see who's there.
Brandon Coleman, guard from TCU is there. Yeah. He's the highest for guards. Coleman, Mahogany from Boston College.
Wow.
Dude, how about Zach Zinter?
Oh, I love Zach.
Yeah, that's who I would take. And then you put Tippmann at center, and you have Zinter as your right guard. I like Mahogany too. But Zinter's way higher. I think Zinter is
you're a big fan of Wood, huh? You love a nice Mahogany?
Yeah. The problem with Zinter is he broke that leg in the national championship, so you got to make sure that he's healthy. But by next season, I'm sure he'll be fine.
Wait, I thought he was hurt well before the championship. I thought he broke that weeks ago. He came back for the championship?
No, it happened in the Big Ten championship.
Oh, Big Ten. Okay.
Yeah, it happened in the Big Ten.
Does that project him to be healthy by June? Because that's not a ligament.
Yeah,
That's
no. It was a broken fibula, like the shin bone.
Oh, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
Thank you,
that's the
Duncan.
guy. That's the guy I would take. I wouldn't even hesitate.
Yeah, I would jump at Zinter. Zach Zinter is great. That's great. I mean, he's a plug and play center. I mean,
All
guard.
right. So now,
We're up again.
where do we want to look now? Yeah, 2 spots later, we're 107 and 109. Let's go back to Michigan and take Blake Corum and team him up with Brees Hall in the backfield.
I mean, it's in all honesty, it's not a bad option.
I'm not. Yeah, I wasn't even like.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I
need
wasn't
another,
joking.
You're gonna need another running back, and as good as Corum was in college, and he was phenomenal. My take on him is that he's not going to be a true 3-down workhorse in the NFL. He doesn't have the wiggle, he doesn't have that extra gear, but he's going to be a hell of a compliment in a running back by committee.
All right. Some of the other running backs: Jalen Wright, Marshawn Lloyd from USC.
Jalen Wright from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Emini Bailey from TCU, Carson Steele.
Yeah, the running back class is so thin. It's so thin this year. The running backs and the linebackers, the off-ball linebackers, are like grossly thin. I think if you got a guy like Corum here, he's your running back too, and your Izzy Banacanda becomes your change of pace,
Yeah.
third down back, speed
Special teamer.
speed scat guy, and then you don't have to worry about it. But if we're talking realistically, I think the Jets are going to probably fill that running back 2 role through free agency. They're going to bring in a low cost veteran, a la Devin Singletary or something like that to go. But this is an unrealistic mock already. So Blake Corum being here, that's probably who I'd lean, or I might even double dip in the wide receiver room. That's what I would. Those are the areas I would look.
Roman Wilson from Michigan, Jamari Thrash, Ricky Pearsall, Jacob Cowing, Malik Washington, Brendan Rice, Taj Washington.
I like
Any of those names that you love?
Cowing from Arizona, baby.
That's my guy.
He's good.
So, do you remember? Oh my God,
5'11", 170.
Yeah, he's a slot. He's a slot guy, but he's definitely more than a slot. I mean, the guy's got hands. The guy gets open. He wins at all 3 levels. He's been the focal point of that Arizona offense for 2 years.
Okay.
Think of the kid who came out. What is his name? Why am I drawing a blank? He came out of North Carolina last year. 3rd-round pick. Went to Indianapolis.
Not more. Was it more?
No, I'm drawing a blank here. Hang on 1 second. I'll tell you right now.
Woods?
Oh, my player comp was going to be Devontae Smith.
No, he's not. He's not Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is as nuanced of a route runner as they come. I don't think Cowing's there.
Josh Downs.
Exactly. He's Josh Downs. That's exactly what he is. And that's, I think, a perfect pro comp for Jacob Cowing.
I'm sold.
But like I said, if you do that, you're probably gonna lose any opportunity of a running back. You're gonna take
running backs are so cheap and easy to get in free agency.
Yeah.
They're so inexpensive. And like that, to me, if you have a guy you want in the draft, like a wide receiver is much harder to find a guy like this, right?
Well, listen, Cowing is like one of those twitched up athletes, man. He's phenomenal hands. He's going to get open. He wins at all levels. He's not, when we talk about slot, he's not Randall Cobb. He's not Braxton Berrios. He's a guy that can really really affect the passing game at all three levels. Not
That's
just
right.
the short stuff.
I'm cool.
He just happens to be small in stature, but I mean, he plays a lot bigger than 5'11", 180.
And he takes over
Right.
games.
He's a yak machine, dude. He's a yak machine.
Okay. And that'll be great in this offense. Jacob Cowing it is.
13 total touchdowns last year.
I love it.
Nice. All right.
He's a-
Jacob Cowing it is.
He's a gamer. Not Brendan Rice.
Jeremy's making a joke because we were talking before, and I was knee deep in Brendan Rice film, trying to find like good game film on him, and I was 4 games in. I didn't really find anything that went my whistle. And I see Big Al in the chat here
Really?
talking about Ricky Pearsall. I got to say, he's another guy I really love. Ricky Pearsall, I think, is underrated. He's a guy from Florida, a vertical slot guy, a little bit bigger, probably about 6'1", 6'2", 185, 190 pounds, but just a big play machine. Maybe had one of the greatest catches that you'll ever see if you go back to his highlights this year and see. I forgot who was playing, small school. I forgot who was playing, but just ridiculous. So.
I'm always in love with
All right.
players
So
named Putnam. Oh, Putnam, such a good name.
Who are we at?
So
5th
the
round
players
here?
together. We're at 169.
Well, I mean, these are the guys that you're going to
Round
start building depth with. These are the guys you're going to start building depth with. So,
Some of the names here: Tyler Davis, D tackle from Clemson; Aaron Casey, linebacker, Indiana; Jay Stanley, safety, Southern Miss; Thomas Yasmin, tight end from Utah; Bryson Nesbitt from North Carolina.
Tyler Davis still on the board. He's your one tech. He's your run stuff and 2 down. First and second down, kind of Folu Fatukasi type defensive tackle. I actually just posted some information on him. I watched some game film on him last night, and I posted something on Twitter today where I think he would be a perfect target to fill that run stuffing defensive tackle. A gap guy that we need. The Al Woods replacement, but. I don't think that.
How about
I don't think that they'll double dip.
Fabian Lovett?
Who?
Fabian Lovett from Florida State. He's 6'4", 315. I'm just reading some of the other names. Jawan Briggs from Cincinnati.
Well, why don't you hone in on a position? Where are you looking? What are you looking?
I'm looking at D tackles.
Well, I mean, listen, we just took Byron Murphy, right?
Okay.
I mean, you can always take another one, but
It might go edge.
I don't think edge is out of the question. I don't think cornerback is out of the question because we're probably going to have to replace Bryce Hall.
Anybody here that you like?
I am. You know what? I'm on my laptop and not my
All right.
PC.
I'll read the names here: Quentin Newsome, Tarheeb Still, DeCorian Patterson, Nehemiah Pritchard,
Dwight McGloughlin. Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's really good. Arkansas kid.
Slot guy.
No, he's not a slot guy. He's an outside. He's an outside guy. More of a zone cornerback than he is man, but he's big. He's long. He fits the mold of those guys that we have now. I'm not saying he's as big and as long as Sauce Gardner, but he's got that kind of build. I happen to like him. He's not going to the Senior Bowl. He's going to the East-West Shrine game. But he's a guy that, he's a guy I like here. You can always try to look at the safeties also because safety might be a need if we move on from Jordan Whitehead.
Okay.
Tom, you know that Ulbrich is going to be coaching at the Senior Bowl, right?
I do. He's the head coach. Yep.
Is there any chance we're going to get near him?
I mean, there's always a chance. We'll be on the field, for interviews after the practices. So whether or not you want to try to get a running start and get Ulbrich.
What if I run full speed and tackle?
Oh my God, Don! Make sure you record it. Jeremy, fall on purpose.
I'll run up to
Fall
him,
on
right in
purpose.
front of him, and I'll grab my ankles, screaming in pain, and make him feel bad for me. And
Albrecht, trip me.
then when he reaches over to help me up, I'll say, "Can I get an interview?"
He
My
wouldn't reach to
YouTube-
help you up.
Can I get an
Security would usher
interview
him
for
away.
my YouTube-
Security would
for my-
usher him away like he was the president.
I'll be like, "Please, for my YouTube channel."
Click on the safeties, Nick. I'm curious to see who's there.
Jay Stanley, Damani Richardson, Josh Proctor, Patrick McMorris, Bud Clark, Sione Vaki, Evan Williams, Jade Barron.
Well,
Josh
there's
Proctor.
a couple of these guys went back to school. Jahada
Okay.
Barron from Texas went back. I think Josh Proctor went back.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Damani Richardson's not a bad player. I don't think he's going. He's probably not a guy that's going to come in and make a big big mark. He is a box. He's actually. I shouldn't say that he's just a box safety because he can probably play a little bit of both. He's more of like a split guy where you can play. He can play a little bit of center field. He can play up in the box.
Ashton
know,
Davis 2.0.
Yeah, he's instinctive. I don't know if he's the best athlete in the world, but he's instinctive and he's a pretty good. He's a good tackler. He's a good depth piece for sure.
Okay.
But that's it.
Which
just
do you
a guy.
value more, that safety or the corner? What do you
I
value
think,
more, the cornerback?
I think the corner. I mean, prospect wise, I think the corner is much better than the safety.
He's a better prospect.
Dwight McLaughlin, Arkansas is the one you like?
Mm-hmm.
All right, lock it in. It's our last pick.
Yeah, lock it in, man. Get that long Sauce Gardner linky motherfucker in there. Oh, I saw
All
someone
right,
took
there you have
Proctor.
it.
That's a fucking draft.
Joe Walt, Byron
That's
Murphy,
a draft.
Jalen Polk, Zach Sinter,
Oh my!
Jacob Cohen, and Dwight McLaughlin.
Can
Jets
you
are
imagine if
fixed.
that was real? Though? Would that be one of the greatest drafts ever? Like, if that was real, can you imagine?
That'd be wonderful, dude. I would jump for joy.
That would be so ridiculous. I mean, like, oh my god, that would be ridiculous if we brought those top four guys. Jeez, man, they're impact players. Also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying even if he needed time to develop or whatever, or wasn't an impact guy, the top four are starters. Like Zach Zinter and Joe Alt changed the complexity of our offensive line. Our defensive line becomes ridiculous.
Like I say all the
Against-
time. Like I say all the time when I send you guys my mocks, Jets are fixed.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's a good one right there. Not gonna lie.
It's a great draft.
Yeah.
It's a great draft. I mean, we'd
Well
never get off in that spot, but still. It's amazing how Dom looks like his kid. you,
Or
look like,
like me.
you look like that kid I had to take to the bathroom at the stadium.
Who you
I
didn't
didn't-
want to bring back. You took him to the bathroom, but you almost never brought him back.
No, I was
You,
just
you want to go find your dad amongst 70,000 people?
This is a smart kid. He would have found it. He would have found his way. It's not like I sent them looking for J9.
There it is. Man, Armando Bacot, like the all-time leading rebounder in North Carolina, can't get a freaking rebound when I bet on him to get 10.
So I haven't asked you guys
Shoot.
directly. What's your best case scenario and your second best case scenario in regards to pick number 10? Listen, I know we got Alt here at 13, alternate last into 13. So cross that one off the ledge.
Yeah. I think you
Yeah.
could go 4. If Arizona,
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
Harrison goes to the Bears, which I'm projecting, because I think the Bears go with Fields, because if you're going to get a quarterback, you bring a new head coach with it. You don't bring in a lame duck. You don't have a lame duck head coach if you're drafting a new quarterback. You want your coaching staff of the future to be with that quarterback. So I think they're going to ride with Fields. They're either going to sell number one or go put Marvin Harrison Jr. with DJ Moore and build one of the best. Do something Chicago's never done. Had an elite offense. And then that, I think, Alt at 4, pairing him with Paris Johnson and as the bookends there.
Yeah,
I don't think Alt gets past 4. I really don't.
Oh, I think. Listen, if I agree with your sentiment, I don't think that the Bears, if they want Harrison, I don't think they'll take him at 1. I think they'll either trade down to 2 with Washington or trade with New England if New England really wants a quarterback. But they won't go past 4.
Yeah.
If that's
you
the
could
guy,
start a bidding war, right? You start a bidding war with
the
2
guy
and
that
3,
you
saying
want.
who's coming up.
Yeah, if they want Harrison, they won't go past 3 to get him. Now, I also think if Harrison is off the board, Arizona could go tackle. I think Arizona will probably lean Olu Fashanu just because they took a player very similar last year in prospect wise and ceiling in Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson's phenomenal, high ceiling player. Olu Fashanu is the same. Alt is much more of the high floor. Very, very good. He doesn't.
Aren't they playing Paris? They're playing Paris at right tackle, though, right?
Exactly. So
they're playing Paris on the right side, aren't they?
They are, and I think they would take Olu Fashanu and have 2 super high ceiling players in Paris Johnson on the right and Olu Fashanu on the left. But Fashanu, Alt won't get past Tennessee at 7 at the absolute latest.
Always Tennessee. They were saying the same thing last year. It's always Tennessee that we're having to
They let their linemen go.
Yeah. It's always
They
Tennessee.
had Conklin, they let him go, and they've been trying.
They're always sticking it to us and getting in front of us in the draft and needing tackles. Pain in the ass.
Well, they didn't get in front of us. We beat New England.
Yeah, like idiots.
Well, they won 2 the last game.
No, it's the stupid win against the Commanders that pisses me off because there was nothing enjoyable about it. Like they gave us that great half, then they blew the lead, so it didn't even feel good that win. It's just like lose the fucking game and help us with the draft at that point.
So, who's your guy at 10 then, Nick?
You know my guy,
Roma Dunze, right?
Roma Dunze. Am I saying that right? Am I saying, is it Odunze? Am I saying it right?
Odunze, yeah.
You like him better than Neighbors, or you just don't think
Odunze.
Neighbors?
I don't think Neighbors gets there. I honestly don't think Neighbors gets past the Giants. I think they need an elite weapon. I think that the Giants need that really badly.
There's a path
I'd be
that Neighbors
surprised if it goes that far.
There's a path that Neighbors doesn't even make it to the Giants at 6. He might go to the Chargers at 5.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. You're taking the second wide receiver. No, you were taking an elite premium talent. The days of taking a wide receiver and he gets 52 catches and 750 yards as a rookie are over. These guys are coming in and they're making impacts immediately.
Yeah.
And you saw it with us, with Garrett, with the worst quarterback play. He comes in and makes a huge impact.
Let me ask you guys this then. I'll put you on the spot. Okay? We're going to say...
Who's freezing?
I don't know. I think you were freezing before. Let's say this, okay? I'll play a little hypothetical. I'll play through. Jeremy's frozen. Oh, no, he's not.
Do it.
He's just dead. All right.
He's just in power down mode.
Let's say, all right, for argument's sake, the Patriots trade up to 1, okay? And they take Caleb Williams. Washington takes Drake May. The Bears are at 3. They take Marvin Harrison. 4 is Olu Fashanu. 5 is Malik Neighbors. 6 is Jaden Daniels to the Giants. 7 is Alt to Tennessee. 8 is, who's 8? Who picks 8?
Atlanta.
Defender. Doesn't matter. Defender of your choice. 9 is Roma Dunze to the Bears. No, actually, that wouldn't work. Let's flip that. 8 is Roma Dunze, and 9 is the defender of your choice. You're freezing, Nick. Then we're on the board. Who do you take?
Bowers.
Nick?
I think you're hoping for a trade back at that point, but I'm
It's a lot
going
easier to
Bowers.
trade up than it is to trade back. So
Yep. I would hope for a trade back, but I have no issue taking Bowers. None. Because of the fact that he's not a tight. It's not like we're taking Kyle Brady. We're not taking Anthony Becht. We're taking an elite weapon. We're taking a mismatch. We're taking a guy who will keep defensive coordinators up at night. I keep referencing Dallas Clark when Dallas Clark went to Indianapolis and what he did for that passing attack. You can't put a linebacker on him. Can't put a safety on him. You can line him up in the backfield and walk him out and then get the mismatch that you want. You know, with Conklin still lined up at tight end on the inside, you can do so many things with him to create an advantage. People say you can't take a tight end. Bullshit. Watch the film. Ask defensive coordinators how hard it is to cover him. And you get a guy like Rodgers who loves feeding the ball to his tight ends, and you have somebody like Conklin who's reliable with his hands, and then you have somebody that you can walk out and get the mismatch, and you got Garrett Wilson, Brock Bowers, Breece Hall in the passing game. You have a guy at each position who's an elite weapon in the passing attack, and you can't cover them all. And it's not like we're going in there with Trevor Siemian. Shout out to Jeremy, Trevor Seaman, Tim Boyle, or Zach Wilson. You're going out with Rodgers, and he will exploit the mismatch. And if you want to double A, he'll throw to B. You want to try to bracket B, he'll throw to C. And we're going to be cooking.
And don't forget about Conklin. I mean, like, you can move Bowers out anywhere. Conklin can slide out. It's like crazy. It's crazy how many weapons and options. Like, we could really drive defenses crazy.
yeah, listen, I'm not opposed to that. I was just curious to see if you guys felt you take your tackle 3, because personally, and this is my opinion, I after Alt, I got questions about all of them.
Yeah,
I don't have many questions about Alt. I think Joe Alt is a phenomenal prospect. Fashanu, I still have questions. I think his ceiling is ridiculously high, but you know he's got some improving to do in the run game, and that can come with time and experience. I mean, the kid's only 20, but even his technique, some of his technique and his hand placement and stuff like that, he lets defenders get into his chest, which is just not ideal. I think that Fashanu has a really high ceiling if it all pans out and he develops. But I think he could be somebody like Ike Ekwonu who kind of struggles at first before he finds his footing. I think he'll find his footing, but it's not going to be instant impact like everyone thinks. And then the rest of the guys there's question marks on all of them. I don't think there's one perfect offensive tackle prospect.
Matt O'Leary popping in. What's up, Matt? Dom, an old school Chew guy. I knew I liked him.
I am, Matt. Bad habit. I don't suggest it to anyone.
Question for you.
Shoot.
Better prospect, Paris Johnson Jr. versus Fashanu this year?
Oh, that's really good.
Thank you. I thought of that myself. Shocking, I know. I had a good thought.
Well, it's a tough comparison. Coming out of college, I probably would have said they're really, really close, but I might lean a little bit towards Olu. But Paris Johnson, had a pretty decent year. You know what I mean? So
okay.
Paris, I'd probably say Paris Johnson.
Okay. One other question, then Jerry. I just have a question. Did anybody else feel a tingle in their plums when you saw Broderick Jones whiff horrifically on Gregory Rousseau the other day, and Rousseau annihilated
He had a
The
couple. Of them.
quarterback.
He had a
Did
couple.
you, did you just say, "Oh, where's Jets Twitter now with their Project Jones are so great"? Like
Yeah.
I just sat there and went, "Nice."
He had a couple of them, man. He listen, growing pains. You know, you knew what you were going to get with him. I thought he was much more dominant in the run game this year.
Yeah.
Broderick Jones than in the past sets. And listen, he's got some work to do if they're going to move him over to the left side next year, for sure.
Okay, where would you put Romeo Dunze in the draft and the Garrett Wilson draft? With Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams, like where do you put him?
Well, I don't think I would put Wilson and Olave ahead of him. And I think I'd have Odunze above Jameson Williams and
Healthy Jameson Williams. Not ACL Jameson Williams. Healthy Jameson Williams.
Listen, the Jameson Williams that you have this year, right? I'd probably say maybe third, maybe fourth with Drake London. Like Roma Dunze, I think, is very good. I mean, what he does very well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a true X build. You know, he's a true alpha. He's an X build. He can go up and he can get the contested catches. You know, he's fast, but he's not like Troy Franklin speed fast or worthy fast. But I think he's pretty good. I'd probably rank him third, maybe fourth, maybe behind Drake London, close to it.
Okay. Have you done the dive on him yet?
I have.
Is it just me? I've seen 3, maybe 4 of his games this year.
Mm-hmm.
Elite hand catcher. I think a lot like Garrett Wilson to me is still a body catcher. Am I wrong with that? Or am I just seeing a small sample? Is Roma an elite go get it with the hands guy? Because that drives me nuts a little bit with Garrett. A couple of Garrett's drops this year from letting the ball hit his body and letting the defender get in. Like where if you go and granted, we played a lot of games in the rain. It's easier to catch a wet ball, letting it get to you instead of going out and extending. Yeah. But that's one of my biggest pet peeves with Garrett. And when I watched Rome a couple times, I was like, that's what I want from my alpha. I want the guy who's going to go snatch the ball with big, strong hands, and you're going to hit him, and he's still going to make the goddamn catch. Yeah,
I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say he's listen. He's got great hands. I mean, he had of all the top, say, 20 prospects in this class, I think he probably had the lowest drop rate out of all of them. And that was he had like a 3.2% drop rate this year. He also had a 74% contested catch rate. So he wins the 50-50 balls. But like I said, he does things. He would grade out on a B+ right across the board. You know, he doesn't. You know, he's not the shiftiest. You know, he's not an elite route runner. He's very good at both. You know, he's got enough speed that can hang in the NFL. You know, like he'll get behind defenders at times, but you know, he's not going to blow by guys left and right. What I like about Rome Odunze is, like I said, he's a sure thing. Like, you know, he's a reliable pass catcher. He does it at all 3 levels of the field, deep, in the intermediate, and in the shallow. Take it for what it is. I think he's also like a very, very aggressive and very good blocker, like out in space in the flank. You know, so you know, there's a lot of things that he does very, very good. I don't know if he's elite at anything. Like Marvin Harrison, you know, he's smooth. You know, he's an elite route runner. He's nuanced. Malik Neighbors has, you know, like, you know, the way he breaks and the way he moves is elite. I don't know if Rome Odunze is elite at anything, but he's very, very good. He
sounds like a really great compliment to Garrett Wilson, to be honest.
Yeah.
He took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say that, Jeff. I was going to ask, is he the perfect compliment for what we have?
He is. I think his ceiling is a really, really good wide receiver too. Really, and that's great. You know what I mean?
T. Higgins, like a T. Higgins.
Like a T. Higgins. I mean, you know, their games are a little bit different, but yes, in that sense, you know.
What's your comp then? Give me your comp.
Pro comp. Let me think about this. Man.
6'3", 216.
You know, I think he's more. I think he's more AJ Brown. I think he's more Julio Jones than he is T. Higgins. Like he's dominant like that in that sense. Like, you know, get the ball in his hands. He's going to win. AJ Brown, for instance, doesn't win. You know, he's not going to blow by you at speed. He's not a 4.25 guy.
But he's got that aggressive hands and by where he'll make the contested. I heard you. I had to get up and get my jug of water on the other side of the room. But I heard you saying 74% contested catch rate. Like, that's what we need. We need a guy that we can just put the ball up at times and know he's going to go get the goddamn thing and come down with it. And it's no knock at Garrett. I want Garrett with the ball in space. I want another guy that we know we can throw a contested pass to. 6'3", 215, 3rd and 6. We can hit you with a slant. You're going to come down with it, fall forward, get the first down.
Yeah.
And I like that. He's like a low risk guy. He's a low floor, you know, a high floor. Like, he's not the kind of guy that's likely that it's very unlikely he'd be a bust and just be a non-contributing wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, no, he's gonna. I think he's gonna have himself a very good career.
Yeah,
I don't think he has the movement skills or the shiftiness to ever really be, you know, probably ever pan out to be a top 5 receiver. Like, he's not going to be Justin Jefferson. He's not going to be Jamar Chase. That's just not his game. You know what I mean? He's more of your typical X build, right? Yeah, okay. Now, the question I would have with Rome Odunze for the Jets is, then you have kind of some awkward pairings, right? You know, if your top 3 receivers are Odunze and Wilson and Allen Lazard, you know, Allen Lazard would probably be kind of your big slot, right? And I don't know if you want Allen Lazard in the slot at all times. You know, him and Allen Lazard are you know, positionally are a little bit redundant.
I think Lazard drops even further down the depth chart. I don't think you can go into next year with him in the top 3. I think he goes to back to what he was at Green Bay, a 4.
I honestly believe they're going to keep developing Xavier Gibson, and there's still hope that he's going to be their slot. Or not all the time slot, but like he'll play slot in and out for them.
I have no problem with that. Like, you got to remember, you know, he was a small school kid, undrafted free agent. You know, he's got a lot of developing left in him. He's young, you know, he hasn't really reached his potential. So that's a matter of him really putting in the work, which, you know, what we see, it looks like, you know, there's nothing that says, like, you know, he's a malcontent or anything like that. So you expect to be putting in work, but more importantly, that he's going to be coached up. You know what I mean?
A play that I'm excited about. We ran it at one of the home games. I think it was maybe Atlanta. He was the slot, and we did like the slot wheel with him, and I think Zach hit him. I think it was Atlanta, and Zach hit him with a nice pass. Just get a package for him where you get him the ball 3-4 times a game. Maybe you give him a run, you give him a bubble screen, and then you run like a slot wheel. Just have a nice package for him where you don't want him going over the middle. You know his skill set. He's a guy with speed. Get him the ball in space. You know, put him in the backfield. Run a freaking screen pass with him. You know, do something to just get the ball in his hands when we have other guys who are NFL viable wide receivers who can create pressure on the defense, and then you dump it off short, and now you let a guy like that go do what he can do.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of potential. Let me throw another question at you.
Go ahead.
Give me a name that we're not really talking about, whether it's through a trade down, or give me a surprise name you could see the Jets. Like, we took Will McDonald last year. None of us had Will McDonald. Is there anyone? So now it changes our draft prognostication, right? You're trying to figure out the Jets. Is there a guy, or even a position for that matter, that you're like, you know what? Don't sleep on it.
names that you would think or names that you would know. Let's think.
Either
here.
like we weren't, none of us. All the shows that I watch, you know, with you know Ryan and Matt and then Green Bean and Buffalo and everybody's show, nobody discussed Will McDonald. Is there any Will McDonald that you see this year catching all of us off guard where it's speechless for 10 seconds after the pitch? That was me. I was on with Italy Jet. I sat there speechless for 13 seconds. And I was like, well, all right. I wanted to find something positive. So I was like, oh, I love McDonald's. I go, let me say something positive. I love McDonald's. So, but we had nothing on him.
Well, I think if you're talking like jaw dropping, like completely out of left field, like I wouldn't be surprised if they spent some higher capital on a cornerback. And people are gonna go crazy when I say that, but the reality is again, I told you that Bryce Hall is probably not going to be back, right? Brandon Echols has one more year under contract. DJ Reed, I hope at least he gets extended, but right now he's only has one more year after under contract. So cornerback could be that position that and even Michael Carter. Michael Carter is due for an extension. Hopefully we extend him, but he could be.
Are you drinking the Kool-Aid here?
Am I drinking the Kool-Aid of?
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Oh, no, listen.
I thought that was a layup, bro.
I didn't get you. Listen, in fairness, I don't think it'll be at 10. You know,
okay.
But would it surprise me in the third round if there's a cornerback that they absolutely love? If they took him, no, it wouldn't. I think that's the positional group that will surprise the most, because I think it's one of those underlying, maybe not immediate needs, but one of those that you're gonna have to pay some attention to very, very soon. So I think, and again, I don't know what's his face that we drafted last year in the 6th round from LSU, Jared Bernard Converse. We don't know what he is yet. You know, maybe he takes over he's the plan of succession for Hall or Brandon Echols, or maybe he's the plan of succession for Michael Carter if for some reason they can't come to an agreement and extend Michael Carter. So I think cornerback is the group that it wouldn't surprise me if we spent some higher capital on a cornerback than people expect, because that was the whole thing with Will McDonald. It's not, and again, I have my opinions about Will McDonald. I think he's a phenomenal player. It's not that I think it was just such a shock because not one person expected them to take an edge that high.
No.
But
you have a better chance predicting the Jets schedule that they do every year, game, time, all that, than you did hitting Will McDonald.
Yeah.
I like the new setup. When you got the new computer and you changed the
location
of the computer.
You know what? This is my laptop because I got a new computer, brand new. I literally just took it out of the box today, and it fucking doesn't work. I was on the phone. I was on the phone with the tech support people at Lenovo for an hour and a half, and now I'm running a diagnostic test on it that's going to take like hours to do. So that's why I'm on my laptop.
Gotcha. I thought you just called me out on the day I told you I could see your porn in the glass of the Walker jersey. I was like, Dom, close that. We can see your browser. You're like, what? I'm looking at names. I'm like, no. We can see the other app.
Yeah.
I got a question for both of you. How much content are we getting with the two of you down in mobile? Are we getting on the field stuff? Are we getting off the field stuff? Like, are we doing like a documentary of the weekend? How much content are we getting? I mean, I know I'll talk to both of you while you're down there, but for those who follow you and watch your YouTube channels, what's the plan? Have you guys formulated anything yet?
I definitely.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
I was saying on top of the content, I was definitely planning on doing a documentary type thing. Like I was going to talk to the camera when I see Dom, and was gonna, like I was planning on doing something
like you do with your mom cooking the meatloaf video. Like you're gonna just stand there and like interview Dom.
No. I mean, but like, yeah, maybe a little that. But like, I'm not gonna have it on all the time, like a reality show. But I do want to tell a story of the trip. So they'll be like me in the airport getting the car. You know, if I wait for Dylan, if Dylan it lands around when I land, like if that ends up happening, hey, we're picking up Dylan and now we're driving and we got to get Dom C and we'll talk about him a little, make fun of him. And, and then when we get Dom C, we'll film him coming up from the airport and film the house that we're staying in. And then we'll put that together with all the interviews and everything like that. And I'll make like a collage kind of thing,
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be doing all that, but I'm gonna have, I'm gonna have my camera rolling during the practices, really, really trying to get some good content of these guys at work with one another.
Yeah.
And then the interview stuff, that's like my favorite part of it. It's really just getting in front of these guys and really just trying to find out about them and how they fit and who they fit. So I'll be doing I'll be getting as much one-on-one time with the players as I can. That's my goal. Some of it's I'm going to gear it towards just how the guys that that would fit the Jets the best. Like if I can get in front of Talisa Fuaga, I'm going to get Talisa Fuaga. If I can get in front of Jackson Powers Johnson, I'm going to get in front of Jackson Powers Johnson.
That was my next question. Give me some of the names that you like cannot wait to like talk to.
I think it's going to be funny when I bump Dom out of the way, like he'll get their attention and then I bump him and I stand there start asking the questions.
Yeah, I mean those are two of the names. I mean there's so many good players that are going to be down there. I mean, from experience, I know that the real big names are going to be soaked up by the national media, the Michael Penixes and the Bo Nixes of the world, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's my plan, is to just get down there and get as much material to put out good content for the Jets channels and the Project Prospect channel.
I know we're right on 11. I got one more question, Joe, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, you loser.
Dom, give me a player that you're looking forward to, that you've done work on, that isn't a top 3 round projection, but a guy that we don't know his name yet and you want to see in person. The work I've done, does it translate here? Like who's that sleeper, so to say, that you have your eye on, that you're waiting to like, okay, I was right. There is something here with this guy, a guy who could blow up. There's always someone who blows up during these weeks. Who are you looking at? If it's a couple names, throw them out. But who were the guys before the Senior Bowl that you're like, there's something there?
Two guys, actually. One of them we talked about a little bit, Jacob Cowan, the receiver from Arizona. Okay. And another receiver that I really, really loved on film. I can't wait to see him live. And I think he would, he's got a skill set for the Jets that I think would be ideal. And that's Jamari Thrash from Louisville. He's a guy, he played a little bit more on the outside in college. I kind of think that he's going to be, he could be a guy that can bounce inside and outside, but I mean, he's a speedster, man. And, with the ball in his hand, he's electric. I loved his film, and I seem to be a little bit higher on him than most of the national or the national prognosticators. So I'm hoping that he comes in and he steps in and he has a, Puka Nacua type Senior Bowl, or a, Jaden Reed type Senior Bowl. Those are guys that came out of nowhere and blew up at the Senior Bowl and ended up being really, really good pros. Those are two guys that I just can't wait to see with my own eyes one-on-one and see if, what I, scouted on film kind of translates to on the field.
Okay. And now that's the week after the championship games, right?
What do you mean?
The Senior Bowl is the week after the AFC NFC championship. It's that week, right? Leading into the no game.
When's the AFC NFC championship?
This week is divisional. Next Sunday is the championship Sunday.
Yeah, I leave on the. I get down. We'll get down there on Monday, the 29th.
Right after
Okay.
the championship games.
Okay. All right. So 2 weeks from today, you guys will be down there. If you want, I'll run the show on your channel on that Wednesday if you want.
You might have to do it next week.
Whatever. I'll run it.
No, I mean I could do it on the Wednesday in 2 weeks from there. That's not going to probably not be an issue. It's the next week that I have to go to the airport, so maybe I'll call in.
Okay. Right. Dom,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us. Chat,
No,
thank
no
you
problem,
for
man.
hanging out with us.
Yeah.
stuff.
Look, everybody, thanks for coming. Nick, you have an announcement to make about the Hangout show, right?
Yeah.
Changing.
So with doing this thing for the town and doing the basketball, Friday night I'm there till 9:00, and then I got to be back in the morning on Saturdays. So we're gonna change the Friday night hangout to Saturday night hangout. We had Jeremy, Dom, myself, Buffalo Jet fan, Y2K, Tigo, Matt O'Leary, and Gunny vote for their top 10 Jets of all time. The list we came out, if you go to my channel, Proud New York Jets fans, the first hour we did everyone's list, and then I compiled it. We're going to do 11 through 20 this week. Dom, anyone that you voted for that didn't make the top 10 should be your number 11. You know what I mean? You slide them down and you add them into this. So if you guys could get me that. And Saturday night, 8:00, it's not a watch party, but obviously, on my phone, I'll have the 49er game on, and we'll hang out Saturday night, 8:00. So it's probably going to be Saturdays from here on out.
I'll be away this weekend, so I'm leaving Friday. I won't be home until Sunday night.
All right.
anything they should be looking for on your channel, Dom?
Yeah, listen, I just rolled out an interior prospect breakdown. Really got deep into a couple guys, Zach Zinter being one of them, one of my favorites in this interior class. That rolled out tonight. I think tomorrow I have scheduled it's already recorded and already scheduled and already set to go out. Just an updated mock draft version 7.0. It's the first one that I've done since the top 18 teams were settled. And a lot more content, coming next week once I get this computer situation handled. But we're going through the positional groups. I think cornerbacks and safeties are probably the next two on the agenda. And then we'll be in Mobile, and then that's a whole different ball of wax for content that's going to be coming out. So yeah, listen, Project Prospect at Project Prospect with Dom C on YouTube. Always follow me on Twitter at DC_NY Jets, just like it says right down there.
Guys,
And thank you for complimenting my mock draft the other day, Dom, with the best mock draft you've ever seen. Does tonight compare to it?
Tonight
I love that
tonight's would be a dream, that's for sure. And I mean that, a dream.
everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. Nick, thank you. Dom, thank you. It's always great to have you on the show. Make sure you subscribe to Dom's channel, guys. It's really easy. It takes 5 seconds to do. You got to subscribe to his channel because you can get this information all the time if you do.
Yeah,
so
it's good stuff.
With that
Thank
said,
you so
we'll see you.
Jeremy, real quick, don't forget, eat a dick. Good night, everybody.
Us. We'll eat a dick. We are live. We got Harry W. We got Richie from Jets Media, Matt O'Leary, Iowa Jets fan, who in the house. We got Dom C in the house. We got Steve, live CEO of the Jet Lounge. So I knew I'd get rich on my channel. See what's going on. Yeah, there we go. Woo.
Jets by 1 million today.
Yeah.